Roo?
Yes?
Breakfast time. You gonna get in your chair?
No, Paddington is in my chair.
I know Paddington's sitting in your chair, but I need you to sit in your chair. Good morning, everyone. I've just deposited my child at nursery and it is Les Mis today. It's so rainy. It's just been so nice on the odd day now to look outside and see a bright sky or a little bit of sunshine peeking through. Lifts the spirits, you know? Today is apparently not going to be one of those days, so that's fine. Not sure what these little things are doing. I look like I've got indicators. Before I get going, I just want to say thank you so much for all the lovely comments on my last vlog where I was announcing my book. I really, really appreciate it. You know, people's support and well wishes, all of that. I have been back reading comments on TikTok, Instagram and YouTube so many times, and it's really given me a lovely little boost. And it's just really nice. So thank you, basically. I need to pack up some orders to post off for Moon and Roo bibs, which always brings me joy. Last week I bought a waffle iron. I've never owned one before. If you follow me on TikTok or even on here for a significant amount of time, probably you would know that we love pancakes in this household. I make them pretty much every Sunday, and it's something that just since childhood, like the texture of them, I love them. And of course, waffles are in the pancake family, I feel. So I just really have wanted to get one for the longest time, finally got one. And I've been experimenting with it and trying to like perfect it. At the weekend, I settled on a recipe that I was pretty happy with. I made a massive batch and we had quite a few left over because actually you can't eat that many waffles, they're quite filling. So I wrapped some up and have been eating them through the week, which feels very indulgent, like to have them on a weekday rather than just at the weekend. And usually I would have it with fruit, but today I'm having bacon and maple syrup. This is actually the last of that batch. You know what, I just felt like treating myself. My bacon is very crispy. I think I left it in the air fryer for a tad too long. Also, I got this little drinks thing ages ago in a Temu order. It's glass. Is that glass or is that plastic? I've been treating it like it's glass. It's very heavy, it feels like it would smash if I dropped it, but that doesn't sound like glass, does it? Anyway, just a little ribbed drinking glass, and it's got a straw, and it also has just a regular like coffee sippy hole, and randomly it has a little handle so I can carry it around like a lantern. I think it's really cute. I've been on a sparkling water hype at the moment. Not good for your teeth, people, but I can't stomach still water right now. Sparkling is doing the trick. The fizz, the freshness in your mouth, but without any sweetness, is just delightful. So I'm drinking it because otherwise the other option is for me to be a little dried prune, which is how I spend most of my life, to be honest. I'm not very good at hydrating myself. Cute, and cute things make me more likely to use them because I'm just really sad like that. Apologies for my very noisy washing machine in the background, but I've been absolutely obsessed with this lunch lately. Scrambled eggs, bit of avocado if I've got some, halloumi, grilled cherry tomatoes. I just chucked the halloumi and the grilled cherry tomatoes in the air fryer for like 6 minutes. And then on top, I just made up a sort of little fresh salady salsa type thing. Chopped red onions, chopped tomatoes, squeeze of lime juice, loads of chopped fresh coriander and salt, and I make a lunchbox of that and keep it in the fridge and just chuck it on top. I've eaten that meal every single day for the last 2 weeks easily, and I'm not getting sick of it yet. And if you're thinking, Cyan, that looks like quite a healthy lunch, I'm also then going to eat a Greg's cookie. So balance, it's all about balance, isn't it? I got lost in like an editing hole today, so the day's actually disappeared a little bit on me, and I feel like I haven't vlogged as much as I'd have liked, but there's always tomorrow. Something I've talked about on my Instagram stories before, and that I would always advise to parents of small children growing to toddlers, getting more toys, etc. Really think carefully about the toys you get them and think about whether you want to tidy that thing up 200 times a day. Even though Roo has a system, it's not, oh hello. She has a system for tidying it up, but it doesn't match my system. This is what she likes to do. Take out every single item and put it in the sink. She has no respect for the fact that I want to keep all the food groups separate, etc. So every now and then I can't help it, I just have to give it a little tidy. I mean, you are now just in the background of my vlog with your clothes off. You do realise that, don't you? When I said you don't need to be too quiet, I think you're taking the piss a little bit there.
You can edit that.
Well, yes, I will edit it out, darling. Order is somewhat restored to the kitchen. Got your meat and fish down here, bread and cheese, veggies, and a couple of bits out and about. How long will it stay like this? Probably 0.5 seconds. Ready for breakfast?
Look at Mum.
Banana porridge for the baby. Strawberry and peanut butter for the big baby. I need a haircut. By that I mean I need to cut my hair because I'm the one who cuts it. If anyone has any advice for curly cuts that they like, please do pop them in the comments. I usually do like a little bit of an adaptation on the unicorn cut, where you put your hair in a ponytail on top of your head and then cut your ponytail. To anyone who hasn't got curly hair and doesn't cut their own hair, this is going to sound absolutely mental, but you put your hair on top of your head in a ponytail, and then you have like the wet hair, you cut it at an angle and it usually falls quite nicely. I'm in my new jumper. What do you think, guys? Do you like the colour? I can't see my trousers, but you can see my belly. Yes is the answer to the question that you're thinking. It's a work day. I don't know why I always put work in inverted commas. I suppose what I mean by that is it's a child-free day, and for me, that is a work day, but it's also a get loads of other stuff done day because it's the day when I don't have her. So it's kind of, I feel like the boundaries are sometimes a bit wishy-washy, but it's a work day, it's a child-free day. I will show you this little set that I got on Vinted. It arrived today. It's from Free People. It's brand new with tags. This was originally £158. I got it for 35, so I'm very happy about that. I don't know what you call this kind of knit, but quite a decorative knit, I suppose. Cardi, maxi skirt to go with it. Both in a medium. She did mention that it has a little hole on the back, which is here. I don't know if you can see that. I've just done a voiceover for a video. I'm gonna film something else quickly while the light is still good and I'm in the mood to do so. And then I thought I would have a chat about books, because I haven't talked about books so far this year, I don't think. And I've actually done quite a lot of reading this year. You know, I like to do a little book update. I never really know what to put in my vlogs, to be honest. I suppose I don't have a niche. I don't have enough regularity even to get into the groove with things. So basically what I'm saying is thank you if you're here and thank you if you're watching this, because it's a hot mess of subjects I appreciate. I personally quite like watching vlogs where I just like the person and they're chatting about so many various things in their life, because I'm interested in a lot of things. So I guess that's kind of what I then try to recreate in my vlogs, like just chatting about lots of different things. But I don't know if I should perhaps be a bit more streamlined. It might feel a bit like you're jumping about everywhere, but welcome to my brain. I'm so sorry. As always, I put chapters at the bottom, so if you're not interested in something, you should be able to skip it fairly easily. Let's do the book chat. Some of the books that I've read so far this year, so I'm just going to go through them. I don't think I'm going to talk about this one, particularly The Essential Difference by Simon Baron-Cohen. He is talking about the evolutionary differences between like the male and female brain, particularly with regards to neurodiversity. This is a slightly old book and also controversial in places. I've also not finished this. I've just been reading like bits of it here and there. So yeah, I'm not going to talk about that one much more. I started the year reading A Court of Frost and Starlight, which is part of the A Court of Thorns and Roses ACOTAR series. This is the 4th book. This is the shortest book, and a lot of people said it was the most boring. I suppose I can see what they mean in terms of it's not as action-packed as the others, not as much happens. It's very much more reflective part of the series, but I personally quite like that. I love digging into characters, so I really enjoyed it. I read House of Fortune by Jessie Burton. I love Jessie Burton. I actually read a part of her book in a TikTok video, just like an extract of it, that was specifically about motherhood. And weirdly, when I was using this book, I had a real resurgence of people using the sound in their videos, like loads of people using the voice clip and making their own little videos. And I just thought, that's so weird that that's happening as I'm reading another Jessie Burton book, but here we are. This is the sequel to The Miniaturist. If you enjoyed The Miniaturist, if you enjoyed Jessie Burton, you will 100% enjoy this. I found it, I mean, I read The Miniaturist a long time ago. I think that book came out like 10 years ago, maybe a bit more. So I definitely read that quite a while ago, but I know that I loved it and I really enjoyed this. I thought it was great and the characters were really compelling. It's got a similar setting, Amsterdam in the is it the 1800s? Oh, 1705, so the 1700s. It's about the return of the miniaturist into his family's lives further down the line, and it takes a little while to join the dots of how the characters that you're reading about are connected. If you like period settings, really well crafted, twisting storylines, I think you'll enjoy these books. I read The Satsuma Complex by Bob Mortimer. I believe this is his debut novel. Bob Mortimer, if you're not familiar with him, he's a British comedian at the height of his power, I suppose, in the 90s, I think, maybe noughties, but definitely 90s. He was famously in a duo with Vic Reeves, and he's just a very funny man, but in a very British way. Like his style of humour is so unique to him that it's quite hard to explain. He's very funny, and he does funny skits on Instagram, which I enjoy very much. So this is a crime mystery novel. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a really well thought out story, and what is so special about this is it's a serious story, but it's unmistakably Bob Mortimer's style and like his injections of humour, his observations. You can basically read this in his voice. I think if you enjoy a more light-hearted crime story, if you want a little holiday read, if you enjoy Bob Mortimer, I think you'll enjoy this. It was like a super easy, quick and enjoyable read. After saying that I haven't talked about books this year, I'm now wondering if I have, because I feel like I've spoken about Blood Legacy in a previous vlog, but I can't remember for sure. I'll be very quick. Written by Alex Renton. His ancestors were Scottish slave owners, as in they owned slaves in Trinidad and Tobago, and this book is about him exploring the concept of reparations, exploring the effects of slavery on the UK. It actually enlightened me to a few things that I'd never really considered before, like the fact that off the back of the slave trade, the UK was able to set up insurance companies and banks that really prospered and afforded us a lot of wealth for us to build our country on. So it's not just like the money that we got from the slave trade per se, the goods, it's also the whole background of it and the way that it decimated these countries and left them with no foundations whatsoever. It's set out in a storytelling way in parts and then in a reflective documentary sort of commentary in parts. So it's a really interesting read, and I think if you're interested in, well, if you want to know a bit more about the history of the UK and how impactful the slave trade was beyond the obvious, then this is a great read. I've also read Expecting Better by Professor Emily Oster. I follow Prof Emily Oster, that's her tag, I'm sure, her handle on Instagram. She runs a website called Parent Data. She's a health economist. She looks at the data behind things and assesses, you know, there are so many claims and things that are put onto us in pregnancy and in early motherhood, parenthood, about, oh, don't do this, do that, or you should never do this. Our parents were told one thing, we're told another, and we never really get the why behind these things. So in this book, Expecting Better, she essentially goes through all the things you're told in terms of how to take care of yourself in pregnancy, like lying on your back, food you should eat, things you should avoid, etc. And she really digs into the data behind those things. It says she overturns standard recommendations for alcohol, caffeine, sushi, bed rest, miscarriage, induction. She really digs deep into what the data actually says and the quality of the studies, because some of the advice that we're given is actually based on studies that were done a very long time ago. And when you look in, or when she, thankfully, has looked into those studies, you know, you see the quality of the study and how robust it actually is. And I don't know, it's just really interesting. And if you've ever been pregnant or intending to be pregnant again, and you're thinking, well, why are we told that? Like, we're never really told the why. I would recommend. Again, it's not the biggest book. It didn't take me that long to read, and it's just super interesting, and one you could kind of pick out. Like, you wouldn't have to sit and read all of this. You could definitely pick and choose or just make your way through it bit by bit in between other things. I also follow her on Instagram. As I mentioned, she does a weekly or sort of weekly Q&A on things as well, which is really interesting. She is based in the US, so some of the content is more US focused, but there is plenty that applies to the UK as well. It's more the stuff on labour that I thought was more US focused, because obviously they don't really have the midwife system. They've got private healthcare, they've got choosing your obstetrician, all the rest of it. So that's a whole different ballgame to what we have in England. But yeah, I read I Don't Take Requests by DJ Fat Tony. I mean, if you've never heard of him, he's a famous DJ, very big in the 80s and 90s and Naughties. Continues to be famous. It's autobiographical, very much about his journey through heavy drug addiction and then finding himself on the other side of that, his life as a gay man in the 80s, 90s, noughties. He has HIV, I believe. He now works in a lot of capacities with people who are in those circumstances themselves. So if you like 80s, 90s music culture, pop culture, you will enjoy this book. Lots of name dropping, lots of absolutely outrageous stories. Like, for example, this doesn't involve anybody else. There are juicier stories in here. But one of the first stories he tells in this book, it made me like laugh and cry at the same time. He'd been on such a long sesh, he'd taken so much drugs that his face was like completely cracked and horrendous. So he smothered himself in Vaseline, in petroleum jelly, and was like carrying on his night out, went into a club. The barman had lined up a load of Sambuca shots and was refusing to serve him. So as the barman lit the Sambuca shots, he just like reached out and took one, went to down it, but because it was on fire and his face was covered in petroleum jelly, he set fire to his entire face and was just like running around the club waiting to be extinguished. I mean, that is obviously horrific, but it's also, he tells it in a way that's funny, and you know that he's laughing at himself too. He's laughing at how ridiculous his life had got when he was so wrapped up in drugs. If you like autobiographies, 80s, 90s music culture, this is a good book for you. And last but definitely not least, the book I'm reading now, which is the 5th instalment of A Court of Thorns and Roses. I didn't read them all in one go purely because a lot of people are very obsessed with this series. I have really enjoyed it, but it hasn't been I have to get the next one straight away for me. I've been happy to mix it up with other things. That's not a down point to this book, because I would do that with a lot of series. Personally, I can find myself quite bogged down if I like power through a long series. That said, I started this book not long ago. I was like, wow, she's chunky, but I'm actually over halfway through it already. I'm really enjoying it. I have really enjoyed the series. I think if you like fantasy, you will enjoy this. The whole smut side of it, because there is a sexy side to this series, that's not really my thing. I sort of get it. I sort of get why it's enjoyable, but I personally struggle to, it kind of breaks my concentration with the book because I don't read of that genre very often. I make myself sound like I'm a nun or something. Like I'm not even a big prude at all. There's just something about reading it in a book that's about other things that I struggle with. Especially the first book, because Tamlin's basically like a wolf. So it's just a weird grey area. I do think it's a really fun part of this series. Like it definitely just makes it a little bit different, a little bit spicy, and yeah. So yeah, that's books. My camera's about to die and I need to go and get my child, so ciao. Would you believe I have a cold? Well, actually I can believe it because my toddler has had a cold all week and she keeps drinking out of my water bottle, and every time she does it I think I really should not drink out of that. And I do it anyway because such is mum life. I don't feel like death. Let's just get that straight. I have had worse colds, but at the moment, because of my situation, do you know what? Obviously I've been pretty much telling you guys. I feel like I can tell my YouTube family because it's a nice little community here. I don't know, it just feels like chatting. So yes, I'm pregnant. Oh, I haven't really talked about it anywhere else yet. I'm not really in the mood for like a big announcement, do you know what I mean? I just don't feel like it, basically. But yeah, I'm pregnant, I'm halfway. I had an absolutely rotten first trimester, and I'll talk about that more potentially. But right now, the main thing is obviously your immune system takes a battering when you're preggers, and also you can't take anything but paracetamol. And also I've been trying not to take too much paracetamol because I don't have a fever. I'm a bit like bunged up and headachy, but I'm not in real pain. So I'm not actually sure what paracetamol could do for me in terms of the cold symptoms. I've got myself a nice little coldy hot toddy. This is just lemon, ginger, some manuka honey, and then stir it up, cover it, leave it to steep for like 4 or 5 minutes, and then I scoop the bits out. And I also put a sweetener in because I'm a baby. It's giving me Lemsip vibes. It's making me feel, well, a little bit better. It's giving me a false sense of control over the cold, you know? Lemon's full of vitamin C, ginger's full of antioxidants. The honey is good for your throat. I did go and buy some Manuka honey because we only had like squeezy runny honey, which it's still honey, but I'm pretty sure it's quite far removed from the stuff that's going to give you benefits. I went to Sainsbury's yesterday to get some Manuka honey. Some of them were so expensive. I'm talking like £25 for a tiny little jar like this. Now obviously I value my health, so I suppose there's an argument that I should have just splashed out, but I couldn't bring myself to do it. I got one that was £9, which is still pretty expensive. But then if I think about, I don't know, if I were just operating regularly, I probably wouldn't think twice about going to Boots and stocking up on like Lemsip, cold and flu capsules, etc. And that all adds up anyway. So I justified it with that, but I was very surprised to see how expensive honey was. Bees be making peas. I'm drinking this, I'm about to steam my face. Did anyone else buy one of these when steaming was like all the rage with skincare? I do still like a steam now and then. They say it doesn't really do anything, but my skin always feels really nice afterwards. Obviously you could just do it with a bowl and a towel over your head and some boiling water in there. There's nothing wrong with that method. I still do that sometimes, but this is quite nice just to hold and does it all for me. Putting this on to steam because I don't want my hair to go really fuzzy. I'm definitely not operating at my full capacity, or even half probably, but I'm also not poorly enough to just be poorly, if you know what I mean, and not do anything else. Oh, that's a good look, isn't it? I'm just going to spend 10 minutes or so drinking this, steaming my face, chilling to start the day and try and clear out some of the more horrible feeling, and hopefully then I can, you know, get going with the day, or at least get a few hours of productivity in. She's shiny. I tell you what, even if you can take cold meds, these are the things you should be doing when you have a cold anyway. Lemon, ginger, honey, steaming your face. Take tablets as well if you want, if you're lucky enough to be able to take them. But it really does make you feel better. The amount of times I've had a cold and I know that I should steam because it just sort of rehydrates your throat, your nasal passages, gets the moisture in there. And I know I should do it and I know it will make me feel better, but I just don't. It's amazing how much better you feel like after you've done it. It's not a miracle thing. It's not like, oh my God, I don't have a cold anymore. I wish. But it really does flush some of the grossness out and make you feel so much fresher. And also it does make my skin feel nice. I'm not gonna lie to you, it has like an added benefit of being a little skincare moment. That is my sick girl morning routine so far. Hopefully that'll give me the oomph to get through the morning, but we'll see. I've just had to put a little bit of makeup on to make myself feel more alive. As you can hear, I'm all bunged up again. I'm getting my nails done today, which I'm very excited about. This is my current set. Still Biab Builder Gel. My nails are growing like crazy, probably because I'm pregnant. All those growth hormones pumping around. I've also found my nails a lot drier. I'm trying to remember to do my cuticle oil twice a day, but it is it's hard. I think I mentioned on here when I started getting them done with this lady in December. I shouldn't say lady, she's way younger than me, so I should say girl. I don't know, is that patronising? I don't know, something about the word lady just feels quite aging in that context. But yeah, I started getting them done with Chloe in December. 5 months-ish of having Builder Gel, and this has just been infills the whole time. And then just because they're getting a bit drier and I've had some breakages in the corner and stuff, I thought, right, today I'm gonna have a take off and get a fresh Biab on, a slightly different colour. And it'll also be nice just to have a different base colour. It's not going to be massively different. I'm still going to be going with a nude because that is me. I'll put on the screen here actually some of the different nail designs that I've had so far since getting the Builder Gel. It's usually quite neutral, usually quite pared back. I do wish I wasn't all coldy, but luckily I'm not like sneezy or coughy. I think if I was, I'd think twice about going to get my nails done, for sure. You don't want to be germing up someone's space. Fresh set! I had them quite a bit shorter. Had a new colour on. This is Gel Bottle Baked. That's the colour, and it's really nice. If you have a similar skin tone to me, I would highly recommend. I think it's really nice, you know? When I went through my books the other day, there is actually one other book that I've read, / not read. It was actually an audiobook because, guys, I've joined a book club. This was a suggestion that came about in therapy. I realised that I'm just not really doing very much for myself. I work at home or I'm at home with Rue and I don't go to the gym anymore. I'm not really having any reason to just go out of the house and be just me, not mum me or work me. My therapist was like, what do you like to do? And I was like, I don't know. I feel like I have nothing about me anymore. So one of the things that we discussed, I obviously said that I love books, etc. And she was like, why don't you join a book club? And then, yeah, happened to find a book and pudding club, which runs near me, and I've joined. So I have also roped in my friend. So it's not like this completely independent venture, but I'm really excited to go. And the book that we had for book club, I thought, okay, I'm going to give it a go as an audiobook. And I got this app, BookBeat, has tons of different audiobooks on there. They had a free 2-month trial, I think it was. So I thought, you know what, I'll give that a go. And I listened to my book club book, which was The It Girl by Ruth Ware. It was a kind of mystery, thrillery uncovering of a historic murder. So the protagonist, Hannah, she went to university. Her roommate, April, was murdered. That's not a spoiler, that's something that is made clear at the start of the book. But then essentially what happens is an unravelling of what they thought to be the truth and her piecing together what comes to be the truth. I thought it was okay. It's not really my type of book in terms of like, I wouldn't pick that up off the shelf. Might give it a read on holiday though, and I did enjoy it. One thing that really surprised me though, which is why I wanted to talk about it, is I was really skeptical about listening to audiobooks. I've never listened to them before. I always thought, right, I like physically reading. I like having the book there. I don't even really like reading off a Kindle that much. I like to have the book there. And sometimes when I listen to podcasts, say if I'm cleaning or something, I listen to a podcast, I'll realise that I haven't been listening for a few minutes and I have to rewind. And I thought that's going to be even worse with an audiobook. I was very wrong. Audiobook kept my attention really well. When I was driving, cleaning, cooking, etc. If I'm listening to a podcast, sometimes something will come up in the conversation and my brain goes, ooh, and starts thinking about my own life. I didn't find that at all with an audiobook. I was really surprised by how much I was able to switch off and just listen to the story and enjoy it. And I didn't actually love the narrator that much. So at first, I thought, oh, that's another layer of this isn't going to work for me. But no, it was fine. Listened to the whole book. Crashed it out in about 10 days. I did listen to it on like 1.5 speed because my brain just, I can't be waiting for people to finish sentences. But that's quite nice that you have the option to do that. So I'm probably going to keep that up with the book club ones because unless it's something I feel like I want to buy and have on my shelf, I don't want to unnecessarily just be buying the books. So if you're like me and you find your mind wandering when you listen to podcasts and you thought audiobooks wouldn't really be a thing, I would say give it a go because I was very pleasantly surprised by how much I listened. Well done me. This is lunch today. Oh, in here we have some like bistro salad. I think that's like spinach, a little bit of rocket and these beetroot shreds. Tuna, roasted sweet potato. Oh, I'm in such a roasted sweet potato mood at the moment. And some butter beans. And then on top, I've just got a load of pink Himalayan salt and some apple cider vinegar. And that's it. Really simple. I just love roasted sweet potato, the way it caramelizes. The funny thing is I don't like baked sweet potato that much. So if you've ever thought you didn't like sweet potato because that's what you've had baked, like as in a jacket, try it cut into cubes, bit of olive oil, roasted for like 45 minutes to an hour. It is so good. I just roast a load of sweet potato, like 4 or 5 potatoes, and keep it in a lunchbox in the fridge. I've just realised that I've got avocados. So I'm also going to put half an avocado in here because that will make me very happy. I mean, look at me guys. Right, oh, that is perfection. I feel pretty lucky that I haven't had as many food aversions this time. Even though I felt more sick, I didn't have as many food aversions. The thing I'm not good at is eating through the day. Realistically, I need to have breakfast and then like 2 good meals dotted between breakfast and dinner. So I'm trying my best to, I mean, I haven't done great today because it's actually the first time that I'm eating since breakfast and it's 3 o'clock. Trying my best to eat well because the other thing is I've been pretty much hardcore addicted to crisps. So if I don't have a meal prepped and I realise, oh, I'm hungry, but there's nothing ready, I'm gonna eat 2 or 3 bags of crisps on the bounce. And I'm not that sorry about it, to be honest. I thought I would just very quickly show you some new in clothesy bits There's not tons to show, but you know, it's nice to have a little bit of this going in the vlog. I got a couple of bits off H&M because they were having a little sale. 3 linen-y bits actually, which was unintentional, but here we are. The first of which I've already worn, so that's why it's all dishevelled. But it's just a green linen shirt. This is definitely one of my kind of core favourite colours. I also got this jumpsuit. I got it in a large, and it's got a very relaxed kind of Free People / Beyond 9 vibe, I feel. Spaghetti straps, scooping neckline, and it does have a belt, so you can wear it with or without. There are examples on the H&M website of both, and I think it looks nice either way, which I think is great for a growing bump, because obviously you're going to get to a point where you don't really want to have a belt unless you're doing it up between your boobs and your tummy, which could look like a sausage link. It's a kind of 3/4 wide leg pant. Very cute summer option. And then the last item that I got from H&M were these crepey linen trousers. And again, these are a lovely wide leg. These are full length. Nice, big, stretchy drawstring waistband. I got these in a medium. I think the large was out of stock, or maybe I was umming and ahhing of which to get. Because, what's this bit of hair? Because it's hard to know what the situation's going to be. But these are nice and stretchy, so yeah, really nice loose fit and kind of zebra print. I just feel like that's a nice way to bring that bit of boldness to an outfit, but it's not really too out there. It's not going to be hard to style, so I love that. And then the last few bits to show you are actually from TikTok Shop. Now, I don't understand TikTok Shop. I don't really get it as a platform. Like, that might sound strange coming from me because I am on TikTok, but I don't understand it. I don't find it very easy to use. But every now and then something will pop up that I like the look of, and I click on it, and then I can click through to other things and kind of work my way around it from there. Anyway, the item that first caught my eye was this cardigan, which is cropped cream, and it's got these really cute embroidered cherries on the front. I just thought the cherry print was really cute and playful. Something else I picked up was this top. This is kind of like a Ganni dupe. So I've been seeing these tie front peplum tops everywhere at the moment. They're really popular, and this is, I guess, a TikTok Shop's version of it. What I will say is this feels cheap. I don't think when it's on the body it's not sheer or anything, but when I feel the material, you might be able to hear it. Like, I don't know what material that is. I just think it's cute. I also think this style can be really flattering regardless of what my shape is, because peplum is quite flattering if you have, you know, a little bit going on in that area. And then the last item that I got were these pyjamas. I just think these are so cute. Again, I got these in a large. Orange print shirt, shorts, lovely light material, nice little piping detail, orange piping. I just wanted some nice new cute pyjamas. If I grow to a point where it's not comfortable, I can just pop open a button, have my barrel out. That's what I'll do, and I will be happy as Larry to do that. I'm probably going to wrap up this vlog here, but tomorrow Alex's brother is arriving for a visit, so I really need to just spend tomorrow morning tidying my guest bedroom, because right now it's looking a hot mess. Thank you so much for watching. Do give it a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and I will see you next time. Bye!